And so that helped, that helped move me up. Also, lying. Um, a thing that I would do when I was working a room, right? Because the goal, when I first started, the goal every month was to work a new room, a new city every month.
That's a good
Every
goal.
month, I must tell a joke in a new city because I have to build out the South because that's the only way you're going to do this sustainably is to have a foot in every single market or whatever. So if I was on the way to a gig, I would call it. All right, let's say I'm doing Cincinnati. So to get to Cincinnati, I got to cut through Knoxville. I'm not working Knoxville yet, right? But then I call Knoxville and I say, "Yo, I'm a comic. I've done Birmingham, Atlanta, whoop de whoop. I'm passing through on Wednesday. Can I can I do a guest spot real quick at your club?" And more often than not, the club would say yes because they felt like, oh, you're headed on the money. Or I would just tell them, hey, I'm auditioning for this TV show or this thing. I don't know if you could pull that lie off now because of the internet, but hey, I'm working on a big set for a TV audition for Star Search. Is it okay if I come in town and do 7 minutes? I'm headed up to Cincinnati. Mikey Kurtz at Go Bananas can vouch for me. Yeah, yeah, okay. And you have
Sure.
two comics that you've opened for. You put them in the email, but nobody ever calls your references, right?
Right.
So you go in town, you do Knoxville, you do the guest set, um, and then you drive the rest of the way that night to Cincinnati. You tell the hotel in Cincinnati, "Hey, I'm coming in town a little early to do media. Is it okay if I do an early check-in?" Those days when you're staying in a shitty motel, the motel don't give a fuck. Like you can't do that shit at a Sheraton or something like that. But when you staying at the fucking Motel 4 or some shit, like they'll let you in town early.
Motel -8.
So you had a place to stay. So I would go, I would do Knoxville, I would tape myself. And then I would like take that tape and then deliberately edit the front and back end of the tape. This is a long story, but I'm just explaining to you how I was able to fucking
Nah, I appreciate
move
it.
shit around. So when I would go on stage in Knoxville and perform and do the guest set, let's say the guest set is 7 minutes. I'll go on stage and I'll say, give it up for Roy Wood Jr. Yeah. I come on stage, let the applause fall completely silent before I say a word. Then I would go, how y'all doing tonight? Then I would start my set. Then at the end of my joke, the last joke, I would let that joke and let the laughter fall completely silent. And then I say, thank you, good night. I wouldn't leave during the applause.
Hmm.
I have that tape now. This is also I'm recording everything. I'm recording all of my sets. I had a little JVC VHS-C joint. That shit was my motherfucking life. So when I would get back to Birmingham after my week in Cincinnati, you set up the VCRs double deck, you run your AV cords, and you making dubs of this Knoxville set to send to Nashville and Chattanooga and Asheville and Lexington and all the other clubs in that network that respect Knoxville tape. So I would take the Knoxville tape and edit out me walking on stage and me walking off stage. And if you edit it properly, it looks like you're watching a portion of a longer set because you never heard applause at the beginning or end. You never saw me walk on stage or leave the stage. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So it's a 7 minute tape, but I'm actually sending you 6.5 because I trimmed the fat. Then when I send that tape to Nashville and I send it to Chattanooga, I go, hey, here's a portion of me performing in Knoxville. You don't need to know it was a guest set.
Right. Right.
You could assume, you could assume that it was a fucking 50-minute set or a 30-minute set. And I would do the same thing in Cincinnati. Let's say I'm emceeing in Cincinnati. That's 4 nights, 6 shows. Yeah, Thursday, 1, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, yeah. So 6 shows, right? 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday. I would wear the same outfit the entire week on stage, set the camera in 3 different places over the course of the week while I'm performing. Then
Smart.
when I get home, edit it all together into a 30-minute set to make it look like a 3 camera shoot. It's very choppy. The cuts weren't smooth, but it's 30 minutes of tape because every night I did different material.
Mm.
So now you take that tape, and that's the tape you send to Columbus, Ohio. That's the tape you send to Cleveland. That's how you work your way up the freeway. Each city respects the city closest to it. So then I go to Cleveland and I go, hey, here's me doing 30 minutes in Cincinnati. You don't need to know that it was 10 separate fucking, that it was 3 10-minute sets.
Yo, I'm gonna do that.
It's
I'm gonna do
it's
that when I
30
get back on the
minutes, my
road.
nigga. Zoom in and crop out the audience though, because you can't have different people in the jump cuts.
All right, right, right.